Now, just after 6:30 on WKYT this morning, the latest on the search for 6 people who are still missing in Johnson County because of devastating flooding.
Flooding also damaged dozens of homes in central Kentucky, where many are grateful no one was hurt.
And details on a death investigation in Lexington, where police say a woman was found dead inside her home.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. It's Wednesday, July 15th, and finally a chance to dry out from all the rain. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith, and finally starting to feel a little bit like mid-July.
Yeah, like summer, you know?
Yeah.
It's been a while. We're going to check in with meteorologist Micah Harris to talk about those improvements, and then we have a lot of news. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. They're big improvements, not just for today, but for the next few days as we stay mainly dry, and that's exactly what we need. We need things to dry on out, and it looks like that's going to happen for most of us. Now, there are still flash flood warnings all the way for the eastern zones, southeastern zones, off into southern Kentucky, and those will last until right around noontime. So just heads up for that as that water tries to continue to get on out of here and wash on out. 66 now in Corbin. Look at Lexington as you see that sunrise off in the distance. Richmond at 66 and Frankfort looking good, mid-60s. Now we go throughout the day. Looks great, feels great this morning. By the afternoon, you'll have a mixture of sun and clouds, pretty much what you're seeing this morning. Is what you're going to be left with this afternoon, which means one thing: it's going to be mainly dry. So I just don't see much of a chance today and tomorrow. Now, Friday through your weekend, we bring some smaller chances back in, but we really jump up those temperatures. And I'll show you how high we go. It is summer after all. I have all that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, better times to come. Thank you, Micah.
Well, Kentucky is still under a state of emergency because of massive flooding we've been experiencing. One of the hardest hit areas, Johnson County, where 2 people died. Several are still missing there.
A heartbreaking situation there. This is Sky First video of the damage in parts of Johnson County, where the images are really hard to look at. All of the problems there that people are facing. It's going to be a long road back. WKYT Sean Moody has been on the ground in Johnson County since this time yesterday morning. Sean, what's the latest on the rescue effort there, and as well as, you know, is there a place people can go and get some help?
Well, the last we heard, there were still 6 people unaccounted for in Johnson County. We're waiting on an official update from Kentucky State Police and emergency management coordinators this morning. As far as help goes, you can see this is the Johnson Central High School cafeteria. Donations have been pouring in since yesterday afternoon. Volunteers are starting to come in right now, and starting at 8, they're going to start bringing these donations out and taking more in. The Johnson County Emergency Management Director said by the time they get everything documented, they may have as many as 150 homes that were destroyed. 60 of those are along Highway 172 near Flat Gap. The coroner has identified 2 people who were killed in the flooding, Willa Mae Pennington and Herman Eddie May, and search and rescue teams are still searching for 6 people who remain unaccounted for. We expect to get an update from Kentucky State Police and the emergency management coordinators a little bit later this morning. And just like we were showing you before I came on the air here, we got to look at that damage from the ground and from the sky yesterday, and you can really get a sense of the force of that water. But as the flood water started going away, the help started rolling back in. People have been bringing these donations into the cafeteria since yesterday. This place is going to be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for people who can either come here to get help, or throughout the day volunteers will go out to the harder hit areas and bring these out. They're also bringing cooks in the next couple of hours. They're going to make some meals here in the cafeteria, then they'll take those out to the flood victims a little bit later on today, and we are going to try and see if we can follow some of those meals out there, and if we can get that, we'll bring that to you a little bit later on. Live in Johnson County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Thanks so much, Sean. New this morning, we're getting a look at some damage from flooding in Menifee County. Patty sent us some eyewitness video from inside Menifee Elementary in Frenchburg. She says many of the halls in the school look like this one. What a mess after a new round of flash flooding last night. Rowan County saw its fair share of flooding as well. One woman tells us she had nowhere else to go but the top floor of her home when waters began to rise and creep in there. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk with a look at the damage.
And the damage is extensive. More than 60 homes flooded. The high water was as deep as 10 feet in some places. The floodwaters picked up cars and slammed them into homes. Other cars were washed into a creek. Take a look at that there, just unbelievable. Emergency management officials tell us the flash floods crushed the cars against bridges and trees like they were pieces of paper. Despite the damage, fortunately, no one was hurt. Many people who lost everything had to wait for help as crews dealt with power outages first. One woman who lives along US 60, where the flooding caused widespread damage, says she escaped from the high water in her home by climbing up to the second floor.
Just wondering how high it was going to go and to the extent of the damage and everything. Never thought that it would wash cars the way it did, you know, and put his car into mine. And
She says her regret is she did not have any flood insurance. She's hoping that others will take a look at this video at that flipped car there, the damaged homes, and that they will invest in flood insurance. Now, a temporary shelter is open at the Carl Perkins Center in Moorhead, and that's open for anyone who needs help or is looking for a place to stay. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. Tough scenes out there, and flooding led to several water rescues in Magoffin County. Most of those rescues were in Salyersville. High water also shut down Highway 460 near the Morgan County line. Some folks also lost their livelihoods when water has buried their crops.
You know, we're not dealing with loss of life or property loss. We lost some pumpkins and corn, and it hurts. But at the end of the day, you know, you got to be realistic about it, you know. And I told my wife, Ashley, that if we could make it through this little storm, we could, might be all right. But I didn't know it.
Well, that's some perspective from John there, certainly. And people are also cleaning up from the flooding in Bell County. The Brownies Creek community along Highway 987 was especially hard hit there in the southeastern part of our state. It's not the first time that area has flooded, but many people say it is the worst it's ever been there.
A new round of storms last night caused more problems in some already hard-hit areas. Emergency managers say strong winds flipped a mobile home on Cherry Grove Road near Flemingsburg. 4 people were inside at the time. One woman was trapped inside by a toolbox. All 4 people inside that home were taken to the hospital. We do not know how they are doing this morning or the extent of their injuries. There's still a lot of work to be done this morning for utility crews. More than 20,000 customers in eastern Kentucky are still without power. Kentucky Power says about 6,500 are in the dark in Pike County. It's about half that in Perry County and about 3,000 customers without power in Carter County. There are also outages in Knott, Breathitt, Leslie, and Floyd counties, among others. Remember, you can help tell us your storm stories by sending us your pictures or videos. Email those to WKYT.com or use the hashtag KYWeather.
And always be safe as you do that, for sure. The time this morning is 6:38. In other news from WKYT, we have some new information this morning about a death investigation in Lexington. Police say an elderly woman was found inside her home on River Park Circle. Now, that is near Trent Boulevard. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is live this morning to explain what we have learned overnight about the investigation there. Michelle?
Hi, Bill. As you can see behind me, police are still on the scene, securing the scene of what they're calling a death investigation. They say the woman's death is suspicious. They won't add why it's suspicious or what happened, but the robbery homicide unit has been brought in to investigate. The woman's family had not heard from her in more than a day and became worried. They entered her home to sadly find the woman dead. The coroner tells us the cause of death is unclear.
Because of the circumstances of evidence that's here at the scene, we're not able to identify the individual or any type of wounds, if there are wounds, on the individual because of evidence that we do not want to disturb.
Now the woman's body has been sent to Frankfort for an autopsy for later today. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Michelle, thank you very much. And happening today, a Fayette County jury will begin the penalty phase for a man convicted of killing a teenager. The jury found Deontay Hayes guilty of both murder and assault. The Herald Leader says his cousin, Dominique Godfrey, was found not guilty on the same charges. 16-year-old Chaz Black was murdered in an apartment on Palumbo Drive back in 2012.
New this morning, state police say foul play is suspected in a deadly house fire. Investigators say 68-year-old Lawrence Sizemore was found inside his home on Kentucky 577 in the Sextons Creek community near the Clay-Owsley County line. Firefighters say his nephew kicked in the door and tried to drag Sizemore out of the home, but was unable to. Well, the Kentucky Wildcats will be taking their turn this morning at the SEC Football Media Days.
Looking ahead to football season, and Lee K. Howard is in Hoover, Alabama this morning, and he joins us now with a preview. Lee K.
Since Mark Stoops arrived at Kentucky, many fans have been pointing to year number 3 for Mark Stoops. That year is now here. So what are those expectations for the Wildcat football program? ESPN's Joe Shad says there are high expectations for Kentucky because he has the program on the right track.
Yeah, there's no question that, Kentucky football is one of the most difficult jobs in the conference. Certainly Vanderbilt is a very difficult job, but they're certainly right there. And he's done an excellent job at establishing a brand. When people think of Kentucky football now, they think about toughness and hard work and certainly a sound culture. So, he's an excellent football coach. Even if he never wins the SEC, there's no doubt in my mind that if and when he ever leaves the program, it'll be much better off for having hired him.
And I'm sure Mark Stoops and the entire Wildcat bunch that are here in Hoover for the SEC Media Days will be trying to further sell that brand as the Wildcats now get ready for the season. At the SEC Media Days in Hoover, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
All right, Lee K. It's going to be fun to see how the Cats do this year.
A lot of blue in that room, too.
You better
Maybe it's a sign.
Triple Crown winner American Pharaoh drops in at the Del Mar racetrack, but only for a little horseplay.
He'll be stabled at the track in Southern California through the rest of the month, where he will be training but not racing. His trainer is getting him ready for next month's Haskell Invitational in New Jersey. American Pharaoh is the first horse to win the Triple Crown since affirmed, of course, in 1978.
All right.
It was a big time. It was a lot of excitement and people wondering how American Pharaoh is going to do in the Breeders' Cup.
Oh, okay. And then after that, his life ahead.
Yeah.
6:42 on WKYT this morning.
It's a horse's life, I guess.
Right.
Let's check to see how traffic is moving out there on the roads this morning.
Here's Officer Don with a check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Hey, good morning. Well, no collisions working right now. A couple of issues. Inbound Nicholasville Road past Man of War. That's just a stalled car in the right lane there. But once you clear that, you're going to be okay. Not a real big problem just yet. Also on the north side, on the inner loop of New Circle around Meadow Lane, report of a 2-car non-injury collision. As we're getting a live look outside right now at Waller and Lime, with traffic picking up and moving okay this morning. No major issues there. On our Waze map with an overall view of the city, we can see live drivers on the way in on the interstate coming in from Clark County on 64, 75 north and southbound. Everything's moving well. Now back to you.
All right, Don, thank you so much. Hope it is a good ride-in, and at least we won't be dealing with that rain as the day goes along.
Yes, that will be a nice welcome addition, some dryness.
Yeah.
Well, some teenagers found out the hard way that the back of the truck is no place for fun in the sun.
Right.
And we're looking outside. Speaking of sunshine, it's starting to rise out there above the horizon. It'll be a good-looking day in store. Mixture of sun and clouds kind of look like that all day. Don't expect the rain anytime soon. I'll have the latest forecast coming to you next.